Wait, huh? What's this? Why do I have drops on my Twitch page? Do 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 do. I'm not sure. Subscribe to earn Crunchyroll. Huh? Get 30 days when you. Okay. Alright, cool. I guess you get Crunchyroll. What? Whatever. Who cares? Ooh, Void Rend is neat. That's new. Obscure Charm is actually kind of nice as well. Gladiator's your favorite format? Yeah. Well, it's official tomorrow for 3 days. So tomorrow it's yeah. You play off the Discord? Yeah. I don't do that. If it requires me to communicate with other people, I just don't do that. I don't think I want Cavernous Souls in here. I do have a Gladiator deck, but it's probably nothing like too crazy looking, but I had made one already in advance. I'll probably make a few though. I feel like I just really don't like Dovin's Veto. There's not many instances where it's better than Negate. It's not very common. Azoria's Charm giving Chromium Lifelink is actually kind of... Wait. Yeah. It's maybe okay? Maybe? Narset. Possibly? That's the Anguished Unmaking. I guess Utter End. Ashen Rider can hit lands, right? Yep. I still kind of like Ashiok. Probably not Dream Render. Well, they're both viable. Let's try that one. I kind of just don't like Tasha. So this is 4 mana. Reseek. Manifest those duplicates. Okay, that doesn't really feel like a useful way of seeking anything, but... I don't know. The ghost, yeah, sheltered by ghost is actually fine here. It's not amazing, but it's good with my commander. It's kind of funny with my commander, actually. So, yeah, Solitude's fine. Yeah, sheltered by goats. Sheltered by goats. Oh, can't forget Jays. Grave Expectations has been good every single time I've played it, so. We're Gladiator Ring tomorrow. It starts tomorrow, not today. Maybe I don't want negate. Probably not Flare. Gladiator is the same thing, essentially, without a commander. It's like Brawl without a commander. For the most part. We're not attacking the graveyard, so we probably can play Drown and Lock. I don't think I'm exiling my opponent's graveyard. Split up is probably good. If I ever have Chromium in play, it'd feel better to have that instead of one of these two. It doesn't flip indestructible, so. Well, right? Yeah, no. My feeling on Final Fantasy? Well, I don't play Final Fantasy, so I guess I'm neutral. It seems exceedingly popular, though. Oh, it's a dragon. Right, it is a dragon. Crux of Fate works. Time Wipe picks it up, right? Not really the best way of going about it, but I guess it works. I'm sure the Final Fantasy set will be incredibly successful, so I aim to play it, but I don't know anything about it, like lore-wise. Yeah, I don't know the name of cards or characters. I know like the main ones like Cloud and Cloud. Cloud and Cloud. Those are the ones I know. Outside of like, yeah, no, that's it. I don't know if I want these two. Possibly. Six mana Wandering Emperor. That for some reason I don't call Eternal Wanderer. Maybe? Yeah, Cloud McCloud. I don't know any other. Ooh, Malcolm is actually... The problem with Malcolm is I have to, like, if it's not hitting them 4 times, it's not really that great. So outside of it, like, doing what it wants to, So maybe I don't actually like it then. Possibly Archmage's Charm. Could look at the black-white lands harder. Maybe Narset. It was blue-black, blue-white, and now it's a combination. Suppose Dark Ritual. Probably a good idea, huh? Extra turns? So many planeswalkers is interesting. Maybe not Shieldred, though. Oop, that's not how that's spelled. Blue is the best color. That's why. Actually pretty... smooth color distribution. Probably way too expensive, so that can come out. I think Kaya can probably come out too. Yeah, I don't even know if I like what it does anyways, as much as the other stuff. The worst color is probably red. like success rate wise, gameplay wise, it might be. It's probably, oh, I don't know. I don't know what the worst one gameplay wise is. For the opponent, probably blue or green. Like to play against. Okay, this is pretty gnarly. I don't know how I got to this point. I don't know what happened. This is really weird looking. This is really weird looking. The commander's weird? Yeah, it's a giant 7/7 that you can cast at instant speed, which is the main thing. If it wasn't for that, then good luck. But you can cast this at instant speed, so your opponent can't counter it either. And instead of hexproof, you just discard cards to make it a 1/1 with hexproof. So, not as good as hexproof, but it does a very good job at not dying to target it removal and stuff. It still dies to board wipes, but I mean it's a 7-mana card. That's not too big of a deal. But yeah, that's what Chromium does. I don't know what's going on with this deck list. So, we'll see what happens. I like it, though. I like what I've just done. Emotionally, maybe not, like, objectively. Abstruse appropriation. What? Oh, it's an MH3 card, so I think it is. Exile target permanent, you may cast that card as long as exile... Oh yeah, that's better than Utter End. You're right, you're right. This happened before. I forgot Utter End exists. The new one. Okay, so how long can I play against Ujin is interesting. Because it can't exile anything. So I'm not actually sure. We'll see. I can heist a really good card, too. Okay, I didn't necessarily do that. I guess I'll take that. Yeah, I'll have to put that in. I'll also have to draw blue mana at some point here. I really don't know what my game plan is for them exiling my planeswalkers over and over. I don't really have one. Okay, well, there's still nothing to do. I can house meld an Eldrazi that could then be very difficult to deal with. Well, that's a second island. I'm gonna want to kill that. Although it doesn't really matter. Huh, okay, well. I can exile the Hedron, actually. Let's exile the Hedron here. This is probably just going to draw 2. It only taps for artifacts. It doesn't tap for Eldrazi or generic colorless. I'm not sure what Paradox Engine's doing in their deck. That's odd. That's very strange. It does not seem like the kind of deck that ever cares about that type of thing. Man, if we had Winter Moon... Oh, actually, it wouldn't be, like, backbreaking, but it would be decent. Alright, well, apparently they have an artifact of some degree. Okay. I mean, all of this is not doing much. Disdainful Stroke. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No. Okay. So... just exile Ujin again, but again, I just don't know what the game plan is long term, because none of this is getting me anywhere. I could have played Godfrail Statue instead, but I don't really know what that would do either. Yeah, you can play any fetch land you want. It doesn't have to be in the colors you are. House melding in Eldrazi doesn't do much, right? Not really. For some reason they zeroed it, but then they didn't do anything, so that's very strange. I don't know what that's about. Of course, my opponent just has the perfect answer for the first spell I cast. Oh, wait a minute. It didn't work. Why didn't it work? What? Okay, I didn't know that. I thought Devourer hit anything. That's kind of crazy. That is kind of crazy. You got it. So, I can cast my commander, and then they could severely struggle to do anything about it. Maybe. Does this have Annihilator? Nope. I should probably cast it on end step. But I could do it in combat too, if I felt the Devourer was a problem here. Okay, that doesn't matter. I think I have to take this, because otherwise, if I flip it, I take... This puts 6 damage on it, and then becomes a 1/1? Not too great. So, as far as I'm concerned, there's 2 cards in the game that let my opponent do something here. Oh, never mind. They have a flash land, so they can technically cast something at instant speed here. I think I probably should house meld this Devour here. I can take 6 again, actually. I should probably take 6 again. I'm going to take 6 again. Alright, well, they had infinite mana already. Narset into what? Ugh, now that doesn't do anything. Well, they floated a bunch of mana and didn't do anything with it. Interesting. Alright, well, Expropriate would be good if it was good. Alright, we have that now. Isn't that amazing? The animation not looking too useful. Hello. Two extra turns with Expropriate hardly seems good enough. Still new to Magic? Gladiator is Commander without the Commander, which today it is not. I thought it was today, but it's tomorrow. Well, they have to give me an extra turn. They cannot give me a permanent. Wait a minute. Money? Okay, I misread my card chat. I'm an idiot. Chat, I am very stupid. I thought I could vote money and take something from them. Well, fortunately, I highly doubt it would have mattered. As it stands, it definitely would not have mattered. But, whoops. I thought I could vote money and take something from them, but I just took something for myself. I was deep in it trying to find a way out of this emotionally and just decided to do something ridiculous. So, lifelink is interesting. I guess I'll do that. Could have killed Ujin again with another extra turn, but really would be back to the same issues. I don't actually have a long-term solution. This certainly isn't it, so... I made the same mistake like a year ago? Dang. Well, at least it was a year ago. At least it was a year ago. I sat there and read it, too. I've played the card so much, you would think I would know this by now. Yeah, this will always cost one less. What is that? Okay, that is basically a lethal land. It creates a lethal amount of pressure. Oh, look. It's Ulamog. Alright, another completely dead card. It does kill Ulamog, but that doesn't solve any of my problems. When it's still, doing stuff. Alright, I think I'm just over this. My opponent, at this point, is probably going to win, and they're playing, for some reason, unbelievably slow. So, I'm over it. They're playing just exceedingly slow. I'm not going to waste my time. Let's get rid of exercise, actually. Alright, that's fine. Felt a little light on early blue mana that game, but I'm not going to change much yet. Well, Dreadhorde would just be a 5-mana edict that kills my own commander. So, no. That's not a winning line. Dealing with Ulamog that way is not a winning line. Speaking of that, I should probably actually take this out. I don't want to ever minus it. So I don't like it, really. What's the one with the flying creature? Is this one? I mean, my flying creature costs 7, so... We'll run... What's the Supreme Will? Actually, we could run probably one delve spell. Maybe this one? Yeah. Okay. I'm not really using my graveyard. I could run both, actually. Probably... Yeah, maybe that makes sense. Hmm. No, I don't like Rusco. Might not need D-Spark. No, I like D-Spark, though. Hmm. Okay, I'm gonna take out Utter End, I think. Even though I do like it, I'm gonna take that out. Turbo Mill card? Huh? I don't know what that accomplishes. Oh, it's the Flint. It's the Flint. It's the Flint on the play as well. Does it have Ragavan? Does it have Dark Ritual? It's gonna need something. It doesn't have those things. I drew a really good card on top of things. Another land is reasonable, so. Unfortunately, this does not really steal anything ever. Yeah, there's not, there really is not much you can steal from my deck. I have all the Verges, that's funny. Do they all work here? I don't control... Yeah, they actually do. They all work off this the Surveilling. I have perfect mana. That's funny. Oh, well, they didn't do anything. Kind of tragic. Suppose we will play that. What, do you have like a Bowmasters? Oh, okay. Sure. I don't know. Stealing a Planeswalker, I guess. Counterspell, even. I don't know why you keep saying that. It's kind of weird. That is not what they stole from me. They did not steal a counterspell either. Or if they did, they didn't want to use it. I'll see if I draw Brainstorm. I did not. Well, that's a pretty good 6 mana in step card. I don't care if it dies. It does not shuffle back in when it dies, though. They could have a counterspell. I'm still convinced there's some kind of counterspell they stole. I'm gonna just do this. I could take a land here to cast Chromium, but this doesn't look like a Chromium situation. So I just won't do that. Technically, Arena can kill me. Oh, okay. My opponent's playing Fireka's Libation. Alright, yeah. You got it. That's a Chrome box. Probably not even exiling anything here. Oh, it does. Dead removal. All right. Fair enough. Tybalt. Let's not lose that. I am just gonna play this. And enough was it. I can't choose to move it. Wait a minute, when does this happen? Beginning of your upkeep. Okay, so I don't want to... Actually, maybe I just not... I'm not going to kill it. If Narset shows me the top of my deck, then I'm not going to kill it. Alright. Didn't show me anything exciting. Now I'll kill it. And there's no reason not to cast this, so I'll cast it. That is another enchantment removal spell. It was the last card in their hand. Narset's ultimate will shut down anything they could potentially hit off of this, but they're probably just going to concede at this point. Now I don't have to do anything. It literally can't steal anything. There's one creature in my deck. Okay. Uh-huh. Maybe they didn't know this had flash? Yeah. Maybe they didn't know that had flash, which is hilarious. They didn't know. It doesn't really matter. If they swing or not, it really doesn't matter. They can't steal anything anymore because the emblem, they can't cast non-creature spells, and at that point I don't know what they could possibly do except mill me out, which still feels kind of impossible, so cool. Holy, not blue mana. Oh boy. Yay! That was fun. Oh my goodness, I'm on the play versus brawl. Literal world first. It doesn't just have everything it needs. Look at that. Probably should have just straight up respected Stifle and tapped cracked my fetch land there. Blue, white. That's a land. Of course, I draw Stone Cold Nothing. Always nice. Ledger Shredder. Yep. Fascinating. Fascinating. Okay. Fascinating. I've almost seen a fourth of my deck here. Or a fifth of my deck. Oh wow, they exist. No way. Each player mills, return 2 instant sorceries to your graveyard there. Okay. That's a weird one. What did they get? 3 steps ahead and deduce. Interesting. Did they want to crack the clue here? I wouldn't do that. I probably would wait. It is kind of like an extra card that you can get later and not have to discard a hand size. Okay, I didn't expect that one. I'm not even sure what's going on with that one. Alright, it was functionally the exact same to just pay 3, so that was weird. Very strange. Alright. Solitude. Probably not going to do anything. think I'm over this. I went 6 turns without a 4th land, so... It's also a matchup where... whatever. Not even worth talking about it. I don't have a... I kind of like Deduce. I don't hate it. I don't really care for tutors here. I don't think I like Memory Deluge. It's not that it's bad, though. I mean, as per usual, the weakest part of the deck is anything that costs more than 3. Obscura Charm... Let's try to play without that. While exciting of a card it is, I think I'm gonna try to not play that. Cling to Dust is very slow. We have a lot of fetch lands, so we can try a Fatal Push, I guess. Thoughtseize, maybe? It's not like Thoughtseize is ever bad. Maybe even Duress as well, because again, the creature thing is not as bad as the non-creatures. Okay. Earlier plays are just what we need. I can't play all the exciting, expensive cards I always try to put in my deck to start. They just never work. Oh, they never work. Well, I guess nothing works if you go 5 turns without drawing a land, but... we can think about Farewell as one of the expensive cards. That's probably always good. I like this hand, kind of. It doesn't mean this Discover has to be really good. I have to get to it as well. Maybe I don't like this hand. I'm gonna say I do. I'm on the draw though, and they're probably mindlessly blitzing for a 1-drop, so maybe a bit tragic. Yeah, it looks like that's exactly what they did. Mindlessly blitzed for a 1-drop. Fortunately, my opponent's like out of cards, so... looks like they had a 0-mana spell, maybe Chrome Mox. Yep, it was Chrome Mox. They draw like the perfect thing ever, of course. The most perfectest thing in the unit. Do you draw a land? Oh, they didn't draw a land, chat. They didn't draw a land. Look at that. No way. Does that mean I kill this? I think it does, right? I think it does? But they can just eternalize it. That's kind of dumb. I can exile their commander. Okay. I'm gonna want to deal with that, though. I can't let them get back in the game. Okay, that's what I'm looking for. That works. Mana drain on anything that isn't their commander is fine. We can mana drain just for the mana with Discover the Formula. That could make sense. We have all the mana we need. We just get an island here. I can even minus on their commander. Yep. Well, that's what happens when you just do nothing but blitz for a 1 mana ramp spell. Get totally wrecked. They actually top-decked Cavern too. That was not in their opening hand. Fortunately, we didn't have any bad... There's no Cavern Punish in the hand, I guess. It's not like Mana Drain is useless. I probably would Mana Drain for 5. It would be incredibly good. What is this? Oh, it's Baitor. Alright, well we don't have Blood Moon this time. I don't have a lot of faith in this hand. Didn't have a lot of faith in that one. I'm gonna go get Watery Grave. Gain your end step, you gain life, lose life, pay the end step, pay one. Interesting. Oh, it's their only play next turn. I've never seen that card before. I feel like Beza is not very good here. Probably get rid of that one. Oh, Toxic Deluge. Yeah, that's definitely not good. Although it does kill my commander. It really does kill my commander. Huh. I wonder if it was right to play that. Or keep it. I don't think I like Beza. I think putting it on top is good here. They might not even want to do that. They do, okay. This finds a land, or non-land. I think it's just universally good, so I'll just keep it. That is not castable. Yeah, not looking right to me, so... Alright, so nothing's new this turn. They just do the same thing, I assume. Oh, never mind. They played a land. Okay. Oh, it came out of hand. It came out of hand, chat. I think this is the best Jace is going to ever be. Let's do it. I would like to see a land. So they try to cast their commander again. Would be ideal. Oh, oh! Looks like that is the case. They did just pay life, so I assume that's... Unless this other card is a 7-drop. Yep. Get wrecked. Get schmeeded. They thought about it, and then they thought after they played this, so... they did play into the card. It looks like they were just willing to do that. I would probably just lead with one of these here, so that doesn't happen, right? Like, if you... It was definitely on their mind, so... Probably just go for Thalia here, or something. Would just be a slightly better idea. But they didn't. Because I don't have a counterspell at 1 mana for Thalia. And they played into the one I did have. It's the only one I could have, too, really, so... Other than Pact the Negation. Oh, I guess I could have Subtlety, too, but I didn't... I wasn't holding priority at weird times, so... Probably wasn't thinking about that one. Alright, this doesn't work against Cotus, but it does with Solitude, so perfect. 3rd Duress game in a row. It's Leyline Axe again. It's Leyline Axe again! Oh my goodness. It's Leyline Axe again. Oh, I think we played against this person the other day. Yeah, they had the Nadu that game as well. Of course, Duress totally and utterly whiffs. Why wouldn't it? We can play Search for Skanta. We can play Search for Skanta. Land, land. I do not have, nor can I get double white, so looks like we're going to... I don't have white at all, so I need to do this. And then I need my opponent to not just draw the best thing in the universe off this, which is not terribly likely. Actually, I don't even know what that looks like. I don't have to do that now. I could just literally wait. Doesn't matter. I'm convinced of nothing. Chat, I am convinced of stone cold nothing. Oh, I messed up. I messed up, chat. I'm really not good at this game. Hexproof from monocolored. I literally sat here and read the card. I read the card in my head and then just didn't do anything. I don't know what to tell you. I literally right-clicked it, read the card, and then I just let it resolve. Jeez. That's just... I don't know what to tell you. I read the card, and... I read the card! I read the card! Oh my... Oh... I read the card, bro. How did I do that? That's actually impressive. That needs to be like a case study. That is very impressive. That is really weird. It's like I subconsciously just really want it to fail at whatever it was I was trying to do. What does this do? No? I don't think I like that. I never asked how the card. I suppose that's true. That is true. I did not read it hard enough. That is objectively true. That's not a land. Wouldn't be bad, though. Alright, so looks like we're in good shape here. They did shock themselves, but they're doing stuff so quickly, I don't think they have anything. Oh, no, they do. They do. Swords to plowshares. Does that... What does that do here? Oh, I love how this can get a land. This card is just really good. That's a Field of Ruin. Kind of weird. They have Castle Lockmain. Not the endless, infinite card engine you might think it is, but it does draw some cards. They didn't even draw a card. They just did 1 damage to me. That is really weird, but alright. I can get behind it, I guess. I'm gonna get rid of their 1/1 here. Another land is a card, so... Alright, they're gonna crack this now because I surveilled on top. Yeah, okay. I guess. Oh, I drew a land anyways. Ashiok will probably do something, and I don't think it's too late to just draw it. So let's try that one. It's better than probably a random draw. When you sacrifice another... Shh. Okay. Well, those would have been really good for my opponent to draw, so kind of tragic. That has Menace. Yeah, alright. Do I keep that in hand? I think so? No, that's dumb. Ah, come on. You've got to be kidding me. Just stupid. Whatever. That was like the worst sequence of draws in the observable universe for us. Ugh. That sucks. That felt just so free there. It felt so free. That was actually embarrassing. I just got killed by like 10 1-1s. I just got totally embarrassed. I have board wipes in here. I mean, I have quite a few board wipes, actually. Oh, look. Wow. Imagine I had that one last game and not this game where it's completely useless. Actually, imagine. I'm going to lead with duress. Although I could wait a turn. Let's wait a turn. I don't have a turn 2 play anyways. I care not about most of the 1 minute things they could do. Alright, well, couldn't kill that anyways. Let's take that thing. They drew a 3-minute card, apparently. Nope. Does casting Narset accomplish anything? I feel like it doesn't accomplish anything. Okay, well I can't kill Birds of Paradise, so I guess I have to do this. I can't kill birds. We'll split up. Almost accidentally cast it, though. Just gaff central today if I cast that split up. I'd probably just uninstall, honestly, if I cast split up there. Just stop streaming for the day. Here's the part where they think about it for some reason. There you go. It is rocket science. Well, I have to Teferi minus it, and when I do that, I'm in a very good spot, so... And I will minus Narset. They actually put Tamiyo in their deck. Kind of insane, actually. Brainstorm, right? Yeah. The Gladiator event is 5 precons? Are you serious? Oh, that's good. Alright. It is a showcase, so yep. Oh no, you triggered a bot with your words. Look what you've done. Or maybe 10? Those are very different numbers. Those are very different numbers. Tamiyo's on the top of my opponent's deck. I feel like this is a really bad position to be in as a Tamiyo player, but, you know, you gotta do what you gotta do. I just struggle to believe that putting it there was right. So... split up. untapped. And I will brainstorm now. Did I play land already? Of course I did. Of course I did. It doesn't actually... Yeah, it doesn't matter that much. Okay. Wouldn't have mattered that much. So they play it... Do they proliferate the same turn? I would love them to proliferate right now. They do? Oh, they don't. Yeah, that's kind of lame. I mean, shoot. What's the... Well, I guess it makes sense. It is one of those things where people would severely struggle to play if they don't already own a bunch of cards. So I can kind of see it. It just sucks for, you know, us. I'm sure they just cast it again, right? Oh, they didn't outright. Okay. Oh, wait, that's free. Yep. That is free. What would I heist here? Not sure. I'll be more mana efficient. Probably just Seek New Knowledge. Probably keep the fetch land, I would say. Let's actually heist here. Wait a minute. Let's rebound the heist card. No, but I don't want to lose the game. I don't want to lose the game, so... Yeah. Not sure what my... I think I was getting a little caught up in trying to drown myself in needless value, but yeah, just minus here. And then we could probably rebound Grave Expectations. I really don't know why I'm trying to do that anyways. A lot of their cards aren't crazy. It's sort of just ultimate this and then try to win, which from this point is probably completely impossible. So, cool. Probably completely impossible. So we're seeing a pattern here of what cards are consistently useless. And I think my assessment about sweepers is kind of accurate. They're not as good as you think they are. I know that I swept my opponent's board there, but I could have just cast more efficient removal spells and the Birds of Paradise would have died sooner. What else is weird? Excuse me, weird. Expropriate is a little weird. Haven't had many opportunities to cast it. We're not a ramp spell in a deck in any way. Could probably just not have that. I don't like the extra turns so far, even with all the Planeswalkers. I also don't even interact with them from the graveyard perspective. I think I'll keep the sweepers that I have still, though. Alright, something good that costs 1, 2, or 3. Ooh, we can run Chain of the Rocks. I actually like Chain of the Rocks here. That's free. Phantasmal Image? Eh. Man, I love Riesig. If only it wasn't slow and bad. Liliana Last Hope. I've been a bit disappointed with Dark Ritual so far, but I don't know if this... I don't know if I like Liliana. I don't own Fractured Identity. I don't own it. It's also a 5-minute card, so it's kind of tough. I like Murderous Rider. Soul Shatter is weird. Guess it's not bad. The Black and White March are interesting. Can I actually play the White March this time? Maybe. Do I have to? The heck is this? Oh. I just want to win with Thief of Sanity. Just one more time. Just one more time. My life would be complete. Just for old time's sake. Okay, let me filter out. Rest in peace? No. I kind of like the White March. Artifact, creature, enchantment. Well, you know what? We could put Utter End back in here, actually. I don't think I put it back in. I mean, I'm a fan of Utter End, so I want to play it. It's my birthday. It's my stream. I get to choose the cards. It's not actually my birthday, by the way. I forgot. Nobody knows who I am. I'm actually anonymous. The frog is in the deck. And has so far done nothing. Okay, it definitely won't do anything in this game either. Probably not, at least. Alright, so this hand has cards in it. I don't know if that's good enough. Fine. I don't want to get a black-white land, but I want to surveil. We'll see what happens. Alright. Life got a bit easier in that department. Don't you dare do something weird. Okay, that's fine. I'll get the Triome at this point. Kind of make my life easier here. Prismatic Ending? For 3? We drew the frog. I can't actually... we actually drew the frog. Right when it was brought up. Probably in the worst possible matchup, but we drew it. Whatever. I mean, I'm going to play it because they have to kill it, and that's like my opponent's turn to kill it, so... That's funny, though. Yeah, Prismatic Ending for 3 is probably okay. I think that's alright. Isn't it a mythic in Magic Arena, though? I think it's a mythic. To which I would say I don't own it. But I'm not sure. I think it's a special guest, though. Alright, they really thought about that for some reason. Well, everything I said actually happened. That's funny. I could just Witness Protection Shieldred, but I could also just not do that. Field of Ruin ruins my Surveil, but I'm still going to get a tap land out of my deck. No, I wouldn't play that one. Mana Drain. Alright, that's a little interesting. I really don't like Field of Ruin. Every single game I see this, I'm so unimpressed with it. I'm just so consistently unimpressed with Field of Ruin and Demolition Field. They just, it's so uncommon to ever do anything. It's such an uncommon outcome. So they can seek off of their... They did not, but they could have seeked off their land there. I'm pretty sure they could have, right? Yep. Cruelty of Spaghetti is a 5-minute card, so I think my opponent gave me probably the best mana drain I could ask for. Does it end the game on the spot? Let's find out. Oh, looks like it didn't. Interesting. Opponent did not want to stop. Alright. I'm not gonna not do this, so... Not the best mana drain, but, you know. Professor Spaghetti Noodles. Alright, that was really, really bad for us. Wow. I can't believe that's what they had. I feel kind of bad. Alright, more power to you. Let's go ahead and not lose the game to it. I think it's okay to let it plus one more time. I'm gonna let it plus so I don't lose the game. Let's do that. I say that's a good idea. Wow, my opponent's playing the Labyrinth too. Mills 2 useless cards. Actually, the Extinction event's pretty good here. Alright, so I have a Professor Onyx now. Huge. I will find a Surveil land. Yep. Oh, well, I mean, it is what it is. Yeah, I'll keep that. Rip the fetch land. I probably won't be casting Professor Onyx for a while, though. They're looking into my graveyard. I'm not really sure why. Not sure what they're thinking about in there. Alright, let's hopefully not brainstorm lock ourselves, although I'll say that's not the end of the world. We brainstorm locked ourselves, of course. Let's get rid of these two. Like that. And pass. I can Dark Ritual Professor Onyx. They would kill it. No, there's no reason. I don't deem that as a worthwhile venture. Pretty sure I can function on 5 lands pretty well. There's 42 lands in here. Or at least there's 41. There's 41. I haven't gone under 40 in a while. I feel like I've been getting a bit mana screwed lately. Sample size isn't hundreds, but still. I can let this resolve, right? I can, but I don't have to. I'm gonna let it resolve. I'm gonna let it resolve. I don't deem anything this is doing as concerning to me. They did not flip the Iron Crag. I have shown them that my Brainstorm didn't get a land, so they know I have all non-lands for at least 3 turns now. Good old D-Spark. It's been a while. I could have house melded here, but it looks like my opponent doesn't have anything to do, so they might just cast it again, which we would like to see. And then I can house meld. I would like to house meld when there's a second thing in play, though. Maybe that's just unnecessarily greedy. Probably is, yeah. So Dark Ritual, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If I find a land, I have 2 mana untapped. And I don't care if I lose my commander at that point. Sure, this is probably okay. Alright, Professor Onyx, you know what to do. You know what to do. Opponent immediately going to the hand for the infinite removal spells that haven't had a target yet. Wow. The 6 cards in a row, no lands. Archmage's Charm? I can afford to take that, so yes. Let's get rid of Witness Protection. No, we can get rid of No More Lies. They have infinite mana here. That's a Mind Stone. It's a Mind Stone and not their commander when I was pretty tapped out. Very strange. Very strange. What is Mono Black's, what does Mono Black do here? Like, what are we worried about? Because it's not even Ulamog. I can survive losing 2 lands. Emrakul can't really beat me up either, so I'm not sure what I'm concerned about. If this was draw go for 70 turns. I don't know what they could do. Can get rid of one of these 2. Probably Witness Protection at this point. Yep. I've never seen a Historic Brawl game go to decking in the history of playing this format. Without some kind of mill, obviously. We could cycle this. I can afford to do that. Sure. Ow. I'm sure there's a ton of removal, but they don't have infinite removal for stuff. I'm sure they can recur their graveyard, which would be a bit annoying. Alright, Chromium, you'll get in there soon. Or you won't, who knows? Alright, it is castable now. They do have Labyrinth, so I can't actually even swing with it. Like, I just keep tapping it. That's an insanely busted card to turn into an enchantment, so let's see if we can't get away with that. They'll probably have to kill their own Shield Druid, and then I just 2-for-1'd them, so. Probably should have even cast Chromium there, actually. That was probably a mistake. Oh well. I want them to try to kill it. They can't let this resolve here. Alright, well, they got a little 2-for-1 there. Never upset with that. I am in my element right now. Opponent don't even know it. Yeah, we can just start casting this repeatedly. Just start doing that. Looks like they have literally no answer to it. That's weird. They did not labyrinth it either. Also weird. I'm kind of blown away that there's no answer to this card. No removal spell, which means Fatal Push was all they had. Gix's Command. Return 2 creature cards from your graveyard to your hand. They have just Shieldred. Alright, let's make you do something other than that. I do have Solitude here. Invasion of Spaghetti Noodles. Yep. Alright, you got me. They only had one instant speed spell for that House Meld in their hand. Destroy all non-legendaries. There is nothing I can do about that. Yep. Alright, my opponent made a colossal mistake by naming the wrong thing because it was not a legendary. I didn't know that either. I did not know that either. Whoops. Let this resolve first. Wait, this is highest mana cost? What does this do? Non-token of their choice. Alright, we're gonna do that then. I could get rid of Chromium, but I'll probably just get rid of Solitude here. Deadly Cover-Up. Not collected evidence. Okay. They did it. They finally did it. I do have Jace the Mind Sculptor, so fetching here is a little weird. Okay, I found another one anyways. Breach the Multiverse. This is what I was talking about before, and I don't have any answer to it, because why would I? Okay. Actually, I do have an answer. Cyclonic Rift. So I actually get my own thing back. It looks like it'll be, what? Is that my Davriel? It is. Wait, didn't they mill Teferi? No, they milled Jace. How do you not take Jace here? I'm never taking Davriel. That's crazy. I would just take Jace. Like, Davriel's a chance to not do anything here. Very odd. Random creature from the highest mana value. Alright, so they got a good one, and I have no House Meld this time. Whenever you draw, exile the top 2 cards of your library. Ooh. Ooh, I don't know about that one. I don't know about that one, opponent. That's spooky. That is a spooky decision. Alright, well, thank you for the Davriel, at least. Draw 3. Alright, they're done. They are done. I don't even know... So, my opponent has a ton of mana and a bunch of stuff to do with it. I'm surprised they didn't try to play it out. I'm not sure why Cyclonic Rift was the thing that makes the game end here. They don't have an answer to Davriel, but... it's not like the deal is fundamentally changing anything. And the deal they got will make them lose the game in 24 turns-ish? Assuming they draw more than one card a turn at some point. But let's say 20 turns before they actually just mill themselves out. Because you can't stop this. This is a really bad deal to take with Davriel. This is probably the worst time to pick this as well. I'm very curious what the other two options were. I would almost think to lose 6 life, because this is, well, it goes from 2 to 3 turns of killing you. Maybe that's, or 3 to 2 turns, because it goes 16 to 10. But still, that would still lead one more option to pay. Very weird. Okay. Hanging on for thought distortion? Well, they didn't. They had a handful of things to do and just didn't wait for thought distortion. They also had a deal off Davriel that has a 66% chance of getting rid of the thought distortion, because they only see a third of their deck from now on. A third of the remaining cards, because the rest get exiled. So they have like a 1 in 3 chance of drawing it. Maybe slightly higher than that, because they could have tutors and stuff. But even still, I mean, you can exile the tutors too. So Flagon doesn't like sweepers. Supreme Verdict is probably like the best card in my deck for this matchup. Sheltered by Ghost has been a bit of a letdown. Chromium's not in play as much as I would have thought. I'm gonna keep this, I guess. Yeah, we can probably take this out now. Unfortunate, but I thought it'd be neat to put that on this. It's not working. Another land? Nah. There's a lot of cards in this deck that aren't scary without their commander. That is one of them that is scary without their commander. We will do this, yep. Fortunately, I can play on my own turn quite a bit. And again, I think I'm just looking for a board wipe anyways. I mean, you just land Flagon? Surely? Whenever a permanent you control enters, each opponent mills. Alright, that is definitely good for us, I would argue. Especially with Dig Through Time in the hand. Yeah, I'd love to see that here. Opponent gets rid of Solve the Equation for a Chrome Mox. All of this just to cast Altar of the Brood is very weird. Why does this have Moldvalize 2? That's nuts. That card does so much. This card does so much. Do I transform this? Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah, okay. So we can get white mana. What are we looking for right now? I'm not actually sure. I'm going to need white mana, though, so... Blue, blue, 3, 4, 5, 6. Solitude, counterspell. Solitude now. No? No Solitude now? Pass? Just pass? I can just cast Solitude next turn? I really don't know what this is doing. So far it's only benefited me. Not sure what the idea is. So, now what? Now I think I... Yeah, this voice of victory is ridiculously annoying here. There is nothing I can do here. Okay. Oh no! They milled the treasure cruise. Dang it. Blind obedience. Extort is actually very scary right now. I would argue so. Okay. Opponent appears to be unsure if this is worth it. Apparently it's worth it. There's only one card in hand. And they still want blind obedience. Very strange. Very strange. Okay. Do I cast Deduce or do I Cyclonic Rift? I'm gonna take a lot of damage here, so... I probably cast Cyclonic Rift. It won't get overloaded by the time it would matter, so I think I do cast it here. Oh, dang it, Ledger Shredder. Ugh, so ugly. Can I even play my... No. Get lost. Okay, that's interesting. Do I do anything right now about that? No. If Altar of the Brood mills me out, I'll give everyone in chat $200. Do I play Phyrexian Arena? Probably not. So I have to gain life or kill my opponent soon. Okay. I like to do this now. Felia. What does Helping Hand do? Oh, really? Really? I mean, all you had to do was cast spells and the Extort would kill me. Right? I can't counter the Extort trigger, so it doesn't matter if the spells resolve. Those 3 options, was it Felia, Fabricate, and Reanimate a 3-drop? I can't really remember those. Assuming it wasn't just creature, is Helping Hand just creature? Do I even care about Ashiok? Alright, I gotta look it up. It's creature card, okay, so I wouldn't have been able to do anything with Helping Hand. So Fabricate also wouldn't do anything. It would just be Felia, which also kind of doesn't do anything, right? No. It flickers the Chrome Mox, I guess. Huh, alright. Interesting. How many cards did this thing mill? Like 22? I really don't know why they were playing this. We didn't see what the idea was. Yeah, I don't know what the idea is. Like, Scute Swarm nonsense? It's just... This just, if it mills yourself, it's great, but, well, it doesn't. It just let me cast a Dig Through Time, so... Thank you for that, opponent. Thank you for that. Ashiok is funny. Let's actually do this. So, I'm just going to cast Ashiok. It's not easy to do it at a future turn. Who knows? Maybe I hit something insane. I hit Uro. Alright, not really, not what I meant. I feel like this is not a major concern for my opponent. But who knows? Wow, they actually just sent Tatyova. That's quite surprising. I did not expect that. Well, I'm gonna blow it up. I'm gonna ruin the Tatyova doing things. Confounding Conundrum, sure. Don't think that does anything against me except fetch lands on my own turn. Again with the locked brainstorms. Oh my goodness. What is going on? Bruh. There's so many lands in here. Is there anything in here that helps? I can get a Beanstalk Giant, but it's kind of small, so... Okay. Alright, get totally wrecked. Blue-green ramp. Get completely wrecked on a landlocked, brainstorm-locked 4-land spaghetti noodle there. That's nice. I can and probably would Delighted Halfling with this Ashiok, just for the sake of mana. What does this do? Tapped. From your graveyard to the battlefield? Yeah, we could do that one too, actually. It would get this Prismatic Vista. Gotta be careful about this card, though, but that's not really a big deal. Nice. Ashiok. Getting there. Totally not a Chromium deck. Alright, Sheltered by Ghosts. I said was going to take out and forgot. Not that I saw it that game. I actually don't like Narset here anymore. The 4-mana one. Technically, we could play Lam. It would trigger off my entire deck and can win on its own. It's like the white version of Scute Swarm. That would be funny. It is possible, but it's a 4-mana sorcery. It dies to a lot of things, and I don't have, like... Yeah, that's probably not right. Probably not right. I'm gonna try March, actually. I don't think I want a 1-mana cantrip. Jurari Disruption is 50-50 for me. Alright, we've been mana screwed so many times, I'm just gonna run it. Tired of this. Been mana screwed so many times. Which fortunately hasn't really cost us anything outside of the Baral game, I guess. Can't be too mad then, in that case. This hand is not great. We both have an uncounterable giant dragon, except theirs has a combo, and ours just is a 7/7. With no further relevant text on it. Alright. They're both uncounterable. I would very likely... Okay, I was going to say I would probably Tails End a fetch land here. Another land? Well, it's all about land drops, so... Alright, well, get in there, Ashiok, with your 5 loyalty and your milling of no creatures. Get in there. I got Time Warp and Negate. I can hit Curiosity. That'd be funny. Ashiok is probably more of a nuisance, but I wouldn't be... I mean, I would never be upset if they like felt like they had to blitz to deal with it in some weird way. What does this do? Okay, it does stuff. I don't like that. I also don't like that. Oh, yeah, yeah. I thought this was tier 1 chat. Why are we playing against it? Cyclonic Rift? What is that gonna do? Not really much of anything, so... House Meld is very weird. Tail's End is completely useless, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6... Okay. Have I accomplished anything? Oh, well, they kept the card, so I guess not. No more Cyclonic Rift here. Okay. I don't think exiling my opponent's graveyard has any value. Captain Lannery Storm. Fascinating. Suppose I will take that. The counterspell. What is the counterspell doing? Nothing. Well, if I kept Lightning Bolt, we'd be happy, but why would I have done that? Silly me. Alright, let's see. Do we lose instantly? Whatever. Whatever. Stupid. Well, I feel like I just wasted 2 hours of my life playing that matchup. Chat said it was a tier 1 matchup, but here it is playing against Chromium for some reason. It's definitely beatable. Definitely beatable. I would argue that. I didn't realize I had no black mana. Well, of all the colors to... Whenever you gain life, pay X. What? Okay, let's not let that resolve, I guess. Okay, I found black mana. I have no reason to heist right now. Well, actually, I kind of do. Okay, again, I'm not concerned with that card. So, of these, Ujin is very good. I don't really care about Emrakul. Yeah, we're going to take that. I would probably play it immediately as well, if I could. So, more black mana. Yeah, okay. Alright, get in there. Do something. Phyrexian Arena would also be reasonable here. Hey, I got a Glaring Flesh Raker. Can't say it's exciting. I can just put it in play, though, as an annoying 2/2. Or I can spin to try to exile something more significant. Which I find unlikely. Yeah, we're just going to take the value here. And we're going to play Phyrexian Arena. Because that's as good as it's going to get. I don't even have a great mana drain. Ujin's alright, but it's not... really isn't that amazing. Do they take out the arena here? They do not. Okay. Alright, well, Ujin's probably as good as it's going to get. Oh, we get a token, actually. Alright. Investment working out. Let's pass? Right? I could... No, I'm not casting that, no. Echoes of Eternity. That's a... Let's put that on top of my opponent's deck. I'm okay with them trying to cast it again. Foundry Street Inspector, I don't care about that. I don't believe I'm going to shrink it either, with Witness Protection. That can hit Eldrazi later in the game. I'm just not threatened by the discount, just doesn't feel like it's doing anything. We will lose Arena. I'm surprised I didn't try to exile it last turn, because me running out of cards is sort of a good idea for the opponent to try to have happen. Alright, they're going for it now. Color spell. Okay. I don't even know why I care about that much. It doesn't exile a second permanent. Yeah, it's not even going to do anything. It just doesn't have... So this is a stark contrast to the last time we played against Ujin. But when we have our cards... when we have cards with text on them, it's really not that big of a deal. Now, the heisting of a really good permanent against this was really nice. I don't really care too much about this here, but I don't want to gamble Ashiok just to exile 3 more cards, just to randomly take out an Eldrazi that might do something. Probably okay to just put this in play, even if it is only a 2/2 and most likely doesn't do much else, right? I'm not going to make a bunch of spawn. I don't have a way of doing that, but I think the heist was very solid, so cool. Look at that. Look at that. We just had to grind past a Niv Mizzet matchup where they had the perfect cards endlessly. And we didn't. We actually have a ton of removal for Niv Mizzet too. I don't know if I should have mulliganed more for it, but we had a ton of removal. Like, we could just simply keep targeting it. If Hellsmeld resolved, we would have just won, so it did actually boil down to that. We would have won if we just Hellsmelded it and it resolved. But it didn't. So we lost. Okay. I've had my fill of this. So I like everything this deck is doing. It's kind of a mishmash between the past 2 decks I played, right? The blue-white and then the blue-black. Just thought I'd play Esper after that. I love Chromium, so I'm biased. It is profoundly difficult to cast Chromium, but that's okay. That's just fine. Some matchups, this is why I really like it. Some matchups, you don't need this. Actually, I say some, but let's say 75% on average. You probably aren't casting this, and if you don't like that, then you're probably not going to like this commander, because, well, it's not really in play too often, and when it is, sometimes you don't have anything to discard to protect it, because those cards are better off dealing with whatever your opponent is doing. And instead of like discarding your other end, you might actually want to cast it, for example. So, I don't know. Not the greatest of the Esper control commander things, really, but it's so, like, pinnacle that, you know, it's nothing's going to feel more that that kind of strategy than Chromium, in my opinion. So I really do like it. Some games, it is also very good. It's not like it is totally useless in every single matchup. There are some where, you know, you just can cast it, and your opponent can't counter it if they have a bunch of counter spells. Like if you're up against Baral and you keep killing Baral with a ton of removal spells, they might not be able to deal with Chromium. So that is funny. That's probably not entirely true, but I did play against Baral, and I also played against Niv-Mizzet. I think there was one or two more commanders that you would consider tier 1 bracket, or they're consistently in tier 1. So not sure what that's about. This is a tier -1. It's like a probably can beat precons. The removal stuff was great. The board wipes didn't come into play too often. So, but I've been saying that all lately. Your removal spells are just really good, especially the ones that cost 1, 2, and 3. So I don't know if board wipes are that great, especially with our commander. If it's ever in play, we don't want to ever cast one, which is unfortunate, unlike Teferi, where you could just cast them and not care about anything because you're playing Teferi. But the counter argument, I guess, is this isn't in play too often, so the sweepers are pretty easy to just vomit out early. And by the time you cast this, you don't even have to cast it if you have to cast a sweeper, right? It's like, you know, so the sweeper would only show up after this has resolved. And like, I don't know, there's a lot of scenarios where they don't really clash, Chromium and board wipes. But even still, board wipes not as great as they used to be. There's plenty of removal that does kind of the same thing. There's not a ton of go wide nonsense in Historic Brawl. The format is kind of too fast for you to spend 4 or 5 turns casting creatures, so you have a bunch in play at the same time, and then, haha, the only thing that stops me is a board wipe. A lot of people don't even like to play decks that are, say, going super wide, and even the go wide strategies, I would consider just having 3 or 4 creatures sort of going wide, not like 10 or something. But if they have 4 creatures, you can just cast 1-for-1 removal spells over and over. Splash damage from like generated tokens and whatnot. This isn't quite Legacy. You're not going to die to that. We did once, though. There was just random periodic 1/1s that were getting through my removal that were just being left behind, and I got poked to death. I didn't draw any sweeper. So that can happen, but it's not super common. So the main thing is you don't need board wipes, I would argue. Or you could just run Farewell, replace all the other board wipes with tutors. If you need Farewell, you just tutor for it, and if you don't, your sweeper is just a tutor for a different card. Right, so they could just be tutors, and you could run just less of these. Wouldn't fault you for that one. Psychic Frog, we only got to play it in a single game, and it was the worst game it could have showed up in, which was mono black removal, so wasn't the best here. But just like Ashiok, you play it as early as possible, and then if they're not scared of it, well, you know, it just does its thing. If they are, then they're going to have to spend their turn dealing with it, and then you don't feel bad about not leaving up a counterspell because they had to invest their turn in dealing with this, and then, you know, you could have fought back if you had a counterspell in theory, but I think that's an okay thing. The only things you can really tap out for here in this kind of deck, in my opinion, is stuff that your opponent basically has to deal with immediately, or they lose, right? Or they're losing, like Teferi. Not so much Jace, but Jace is pretty up there. Brainstorming every turn is rather disgusting. Ashiok, in some matchups, is also that, surprisingly. And I would say Psychic Frog is too. Maybe Esper Sentinel, but I don't know about that one. I didn't think Esper Sentinel would do much here, so this card has been impressing me more and more. The ability to find a land is phenomenal here. This card has been really, really nice. Really nice. I don't think I've cast it as a 5/5 yet, actually. Or if I have, it was probably during the Alchemy event when it was like in the deck in the Alchemy event. But really nice card so far, so I like that one. Alright, that's all I've got. Let me know what you thought about it.